The role of the lawyer is going to transform, I believe, radically over the next 5 to 10 years. I often say to clients, it's not over the next 5 to 10 months, it's not a short-term change, but within a decade, by 2020, I believe lawyers will practice law quite differently from today. The tools they use, the way in which they meet with clients, communicate with clients, indeed the documents they draft, all aspects of legal service will be quite different a decade from now. And this is not just my speculation. When I undertake research with lawyers in law firms and clients all around the world, there is a feeling that within a decade, legal service, the work of lawyers, will change beyond recognition. The legal professions across the world are under 3 or 4 threats and pressures. The first is what I call the more for less challenge. How do lawyers deliver more legal services at less cost? The second is the pressure to move away from handcrafting legal solutions towards some form of commoditization of legal service so it's more widely affordable. The third challenge is to embrace information technology, much as all other industries and sectors have similarly used IT to their own benefit and to that of those they serve. And the fourth pressure that applies in some but not all legal systems is the pressure that's arising from liberalisation, deregulation. We're seeing this in England, and it will be so, I believe, across the legal world. What will happen is that non-lawyers, non-law firms will soon be able to be involved in the delivery of legal services. The delivery of legal services will no longer be the monopoly of lawyers. Of course, lawyers will still be best placed to offer some forms of advice, but we will see a liberalisation, a deregulation of the legal profession across the world by 2020. In the future, law firms will have to build strong relationships with a number of external suppliers. External suppliers deliver the infrastructure, the basic technology that many firms rely on. If you take away the electronic mail, the accounting systems, the word processing of law firms, then the business cannot function. And so it's absolutely crucial that law firms have a strong working relationship with their technology suppliers. But it goes beyond this, because increasingly law firms are relying not just on technology suppliers, but on information and knowledge suppliers too. Publishers and other specialists in legal knowledge who deliver their information, their guidance to lawyers in electronic form. There's another set of suppliers, a new set of players in the industry with whom lawyers will have to develop warm relationships. If lawyers decide, for example, to make their materials available online, perhaps standard form documents, they will often do so in conjunction with external information suppliers. And so we'll see, for most law firms, a network of very close relationships, specialist service providers who will help lawyers provide a modern IT-based service in the future. I think it's important in Spain and elsewhere that lawyers become closer to their clients. The idea of the trusted advisor is important here. That the lawyer is not seen as some remote individual, some person who's hard to approach, but someone who's really close to the individual who's being advised. Someone with whom they have a warm relationship, a trusting relationship. A relationship, of course, based on professionalism, but actually also based on deep insight into the particular circumstances of the particular clients. It's time for lawyers to work far more closely with their clients, not just on the job, where there's a particular deal or perhaps a disagreement or advice needed, but also between pieces of work, building up and strengthening warm working relations. One of the gravest problems facing the legal system today is that of access to justice. The problem is that many people who need legal help, who would benefit from legal advice, simply cannot afford lawyers as they operate today. It seems to me this presents a huge challenge to lawyers in Spain and elsewhere. We have to find ways of lowering the costs of our services. And I believe this can be done by the adoption of information technology in a variety of ways, and also by standardizing and even systematizing much of the work that used to be done in a very handcrafted manner. It's absolutely vital for the legal profession to have impact across society and not just for the very few who can afford legal services. One possibility that's exciting for some people and threatening for others is the idea of online legal service, that legal advice and legal documents can be obtained online. The question I'm often asked is, will this happen over the next 1 or 2 years, or is this a more distant possibility? I think it'll be a decade at least before online legal service is the dominant way, the main way in which legal services are provided, but we can already see some very strong signs that this way of offering legal help is taking hold. In the United States, LegalZoom.com is the best known legal brand in the entire country. And what is it? It's a system that allows individuals and small businesses to gain access to legal documents online. Now, I think in Spain, it will be at least 10 years before that kind of system is used in a widespread way. And many lawyers say, well, this is a huge threat to us. I say the reverse. I think it will be for lawyers to develop these systems. What they will then be doing is making their legal advice available to their clients in a new way. My understanding is that in Spain, and it's true in many countries, that accessing and using the courts is time-consuming, it's costly. It often is inconsistent, involving many different bodies in different parts of the country. The difficulty with this is that many citizens in Spain and elsewhere are looking to alternative methods of dispute resolution. ADR, such as mediation, has become very common across the Western world. But there's a new and exciting development also, and that is online dispute resolution, where people resolve disputes not by gathering together in physical courtrooms, but by settling their differences electronically across the internet. This presents a huge challenge for our courts, because unless courts modernize themselves, people will simply no longer use them as much as they did in the past. Alternative, faster, quicker, more convenient ways of resolving disputes will emerge. So for me, it's very simple. The courts either modernize, or we'll find people using them far less, and in turn, I'm afraid, the credibility of the justice system will be called into question. We live in very serious times for this reason. It seems to me it's important that our courts are regarded as efficient, they're regarded as providing good value, they're regarded as the natural, authoritative place for the resolution of disputes. But unless we modernize, unless the buildings are based in sensible technology, unless the administration is similarly computerized, unless the judges themselves use modern methods, we will find, I believe, and unfortunately, that our justice system and our courts will fall into disrepute. So the challenge is clear. We modernize, or their usage will lessen considerably.